Nick Gallo, Valley Sports. Josh, just with the game flow and the lead changes and the ties that you all had, what were some of the game-changing moments that you felt like happened? Because it seemed like both teams, at different points in the game, really had a chance to kind of take hold of this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it went. It kind of was back and forth. They got a lead, we got a lead. No one really blew it out besides, the start of that fourth, they got out to, I think, 12, 13-point lead, and that was probably as big as it got, all game. And I think we did a good job of kind of cutting into that. But, getting back from a 13-point deficit with, minutes left is tough to do. But, we fought, we played hard. I think we fouled a little too much. They got some big offensive rebounds. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, very winnable game on our part. Just clean up a few things down the stretch, and I think we could take care of that one.
And then Jalen was just talking about fouling too much, and that's been something that you guys, as the youngest team in the NBA, have been kind of continuing to work through. Is like, what's the line on the physicality? What's the challenge in that for you guys, as terms of the game still moving pretty fast for you all out there?
Yeah, fouling's obviously been a problem. We've addressed it, and I think we work on our team defense so much that it's kind of weird that it is a problem for us, considering how much of an emphasis we put on chest and keeping our hands out on drives, but we just seem to be reaching, and it's fouls we can easily control. It's little hand fouls, rip-throughs, like Schroeder had one to put him in the bonus. Things like that are easily controllable. So I think just hand discipline is a big part, but when we're playing with our chest, we're a tough team to score on. We've got very switchable lineups, and I think that we need to kind of get back to that, because when we're playing that way, our defense, I think, in my opinion, is as good as anyone's in the league. And I got full confidence in our guys to keep guys in front of us. And if you do get beat, that next man's behind you. So playing without our hands, something we've got to get back to. And when we do, tough team to score on.
Pierce Austin, Valley Sports. Josh, Coach gave you a lot of credit for you just kind of having your foot on the gas offensively and not getting downhill, getting to the rim. What are you feeling out there when you're playing with that level of kind of force and trying to attack and get into the teeth of the defense?
Yeah, I mean, it can't be like a sometime thing. It has to kind of be every night thing. And I think for me, it kind of, I've picked and choose, a little bit. And I think just being aggressive, but, being aggressive smartly, it doesn't mean you're jamming the ball in every time. But I think that there's times, in the past, in previous games, where it's just I'm too passive, just, kind of diverting to others. But I think I've got to keep my foot on the gas. And that doesn't mean scoring or making a play every time, but just kind of keeping that, that unit on the floor that we're, in attack mode, we're playing aggressive. Because I think that's when we're at our best. So it obviously starts with the guys, me, Dub, Shea, that have the ball in our hands a lot. If we can set that tone, us three, it kind of, speaks to everyone around us that that's how we're playing. We're being aggressive. We're getting downhill, and I think when we do, we've got a lot of weapons offensively. If the defense kind of collapses, we got, Lindy, Isaiah, Lou, these guys, these shooters on the perimeter that we can kick out to. So when we're in attack mode, I think that's when we play our best basketball.
Yeah, when you're playing like that, I bring this up because you and Jay Will connected on a couple of really good pick and roll opportunities. How did you feel that kind of growing throughout the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he sets great screens for one, gets me open, and then it's just a 2-on-1 game with him rolling me, getting downhill. If the big doesn't stop me going to the rim, if it does, to dump off to Jay Will, and he's gotten really good at those little touch shots, from 6-7 foot around the rim. And then he's a really good passer. If the big gets back to him, he's able to find guys on the perimeter. So he's fun to play pick and roll with because very high IQ guy, and he's someone you can trust with the ball in their hands to make the right play.
Josh, this was a big bounce-back night for you. Were you just looking forward to getting back out there after not playing a ton last night?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly. It was good that it was, a 24-hour turnaround. Kind of put the last game in the past. Those type of games are going to happen, throughout a career, especially as a young player. It's never going to be a steady, improvement game by game. There's always going to be ebbs and flows, and learning to take those type of games on the chin and acknowledge them, and not put the blame on other people, or not try and make excuses for it. Owning it, and getting ready for the next one.
And then J-Dub is taking on more ball handling duties while Shea has been out. What have you seen from him as he sort of is growing into that role that he hasn't had a ton this year? Yeah,
I mean, it's great when he's aggressive downhill. He's athletic. He can finish. He leads the NBA in dunks for guards. So kind of speaks to that. He makes plays for others. I think best thing about him is he makes plays better around him. And when he's orchestrating the offense and getting downhill, whether it's him finishing or kicking out the shooters or dumping off to the bigs, he does it at a high level. And then go to the other side of the ball, he usually gets tasked with guarding the second best player most nights, and he takes on that role great. Great hands, gets steals, gets in the lanes, gets out in the fast break. So he's been great. And I mean, while Shea's been out, he's obviously had a bigger responsibility with the ball, and I think he's taken that opportunity with both hands.
Go ahead, Jared. Seems like the last couple of games you guys have been playing uphill like the entire time. Guys, it's about a week now. You guys get off to slow starts and what have you. One, do you feel the pressure of maybe trying to press it a little bit because you guys are getting off to those slow starts? And two, is there anything tangible that you can do to try to turn that around?
Yeah, I mean, early in the season, that was our big problem. First quarters, we started slow, and I think we fixed that for a fair while. We started getting off to better starts, started winning games as a result. And these last, however many games we've played, the first quarter's been bad. And, I mean, Coach was telling us a statistic. The team that wins the first quarter wins a certain percentage of games, and it's in favor of that team. And, the first quarter is important. It kind of sets the tone. And we haven't been, ahead and setting that tone early on. And it definitely is things we can control. I mean, we typically come ready to play in the third quarter, but we kind of have to have that mindset in the first. Come out the gates, throw the first punch. And I think the last few games we haven't done that. The other team has taken it to us, and we've had to call the first time out every game and kind of get back on our feet. But if we can stop playing uphill, as you said, it's going to put us in better stead because we're very good at coming back from large deficits. But if we don't put ourselves in a position where we have to come back, I think that's going to go a long way to winning more, of these tight games. So the first quarter is definitely a big area of improvement these last, 6-7 games.
With Shea out, you're taking the lion's share of responsibility as the primary ball handler. Is that something like riding a bike where you can just click back into it after, most of the season where you're playing more off of him? Or is it something that's taken a little bit of an adjustment period over the last couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, a bit of both. Obviously, I've been a natural ball handler my whole life, so it's not like I'm switching completely to another role. But obviously, having more responsibility with the ball in your hands does change things a little bit. You kind of have to understand when to be aggressive, when to get other guys involved, and it can be a tough job as a point guard. You're trying to manage the whole game. Understanding who need to get involved. What offense to run, when to be aggressive, when not to be. So there's a lot of things you've got to kind of watch out there. Similar to a quarterback, they've got so many things they have to see on the floor. But I love that responsibility. I want to be able to make players better around me. So anytime I have that opportunity, I'll take it.
Anybody else?
Thanks, guys.